it's so crazy to think about 3 years ago whenever Advanced Warfare was first coming out, because out of all the stuff that was going on between the crappiness of Call of Duty Ghost and going into this really weird phase of Call of Duty, everything was like confusing and everyone was just wondering what's going on with the Call of Duty series. Is Call of Duty gonna die? It was just a lot of question marks. And now after 3 years of futuristic games, each company doing their own version, it's finally happening where we're getting a boots on the ground game. And I just kind of wanted to take this time to talk about it because at the time of recording this, I'm recording this Monday night at 5:19 p.m. I'm planning to upload this on Tuesday for the Tuesday upload. But that means that this Friday, so in 3 days after this video is uploaded, means Call of Duty World War II will officially be out. Now, the thing is again, like I said, it's been 3 years since we've had a boots on the ground game, but the thing about the last boots on the ground game was Call of Duty Ghost, and people would call that one of the worst Call of Duties that has ever happened. In my opinion, I feel like Advanced Warfare was pretty bad just because it just completely went downhill with what Call of Duty was known for and what it was liked for and stuff. It just kind of demolished it. Regardless, though, of the futuristic things and everything that demolished it, I personally think that the futuristic theme that Call of Duty went for the past 3 years was actually one of the best things Call of Duty could have done. And here's why. Everyone hates the futuristic themes, right? But the things that everyone has been saying these past 3 years is, I hate the futuristic things. I want boots on the ground. I don't like it. It's just ridiculous. It makes no sense. Yada, yada, yada. However, 4 years ago, whenever Call of Duty Ghosts came out, people were not complaining about futuristic things. They were complaining that Call of Duty is so repetitive. Oh, it's the same thing every game. It's the same thing every year. Blah, 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 blah. They were complaining that it was repetitive. So Call of Duty decided to listen to the community and take an approach doing something, hey, this is still a first-person shooter. It works like every other Call of Duty. We're just making it more futuristic and adding robots and adding, jetpacks or whatever you want to call it. I know there's exosuits, whatever you want to call it. And the thing is Call of Duty is not that unrealistic, except for it's unrealistic at this time. For all we know, 2065 is a lot of years away. We have so many years until that happens. We have about over 40 years, and a lot can happen over 40 years. And for all we know, we may even be even more futuristic at 2065. That was at least, I think, whenever Call of Duty Black Ops 3 was based on time-wise in the storyline. Like, it's going to be really interesting once 2065, because a good amount of people who've played the game is probably going to still be alive during 2065, and then looking back and saying, oh my gosh, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 was absolutely unrealistic and totally wrong about the future, or they were going to be right, or it's just going to be interesting to see once 2065 actually happens, because like I said, most people who have played Black Ops 3 will most likely live till 2065. So it's going to be interesting to look back on the game and think, was it really that unrealistic? Right now it's unrealistic because we want a time of now. We want it to be either in the past or in the present. But I honestly, like I said, think it was a great thing for Call of Duty because they did something different. It didn't work out. Every company tried their own, they've attempted their own version of a futuristic game, and none of the community liked it. And they're no longer saying, oh, Call of Duty is so repetitive. Everyone's so hyped to finally get a boots on the ground game, and I am as well, because it's something that I was really into. See, the thing is the first game that I've ever played of Call of Duty was actually Modern Warfare 3, so it's still fairly new, and then Black Ops 2 was the first game where I really got into and actually personally owned. So I haven't really been part of the Call of Duty boots on the ground series. I've been a very newcomer to Call of Duty still. But Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which was considered one of the best Call of Duties ever, at least to some people, but it was definitely the best Call of Duty that we've gotten in a really, really, really long time. And it's been 4 years. Actually, what am I saying? Well, it depends on how you count it. It came out in 2012. So it's been 5 years since Call of Duty Black Ops 2 has come out. And it's still an active game. Like, people still actually play it to this day because it's that good, but also because there's no other games. So I'm really curious to see how World War II does. The main thing that I really want World War II to do is I want it to stick to its roots. I wanted it to be nothing like the new ones, not just for the futuristic theme, but the thing about that Sledgehammer Games, which are the maker of Advanced Warfare, they're the one that started the futuristic theme, and they're also the ones making Call of Duty World War II, is one of the things that they did was they introduced supply drops, which is basically it's a free money pathway for all games. So many games have started doing this because it's literally like free money. People pay to get the cool skins or the rare skins, and then they can brag about to your friends like, oh, check out this new camo I got. A game that I play on the computer that's completely free to play actually did something very similar called loot boxes or whatever they call it. It's not Overwatch, I know, I can't remember. They call them Hex Tech Crates. That's what they call them. It's League of Legends. So many games do that now because they see the success of people purchasing these random chests because it's kind of like gambling for kids. Because think about it, you get a young audience being like, oh, I bought 50 loot boxes just to get a skin and I didn't even get the skin, you know? And that's what I think kind of ruined Call of Duty for me, was they did like a pay to get cool stuff, while in Call of Duty Black Ops 2, again, I would say one of the best Call of Duty games ever, they had, hey, if you want this camo, you can pay $2.99 for it and instantly get it. That was the way to do it. And then you actually had people playing with camos that they liked. They didn't just happen to get it by luck or pay for a ton of chests or crates, whatever you want to call it, supply drops, all those types of fancy names. And it's just, it ruins it. It ruins the uniqueness because it's all based on luck and it's people just throwing money for luck. So I feel like I really want them. I don't know anything about the game because I purposely haven't watched any footage. I've watched one trailer, but besides that, I haven't watched anything and haven't really checked up on it. But that honestly would be the number one thing I would want them to do, is get rid of supply drops or crates, whatever you want to call it in World War II, because I bet they won't actually call it supply drop since it's an old school thing. They'll probably do like a army crate or something like that. I don't know. But I want them to get rid of that because that is not fun. It's not fun having things based on luck. It's not fun grinding for them just to get something that you might not even want. I absolutely hate it, and Call of Duty has never had that until Sledgehammer introduced it. And every game since, they've had something similar. I feel like this World War II game is actually Sledgehammer's biggest redemption because they're the ones that went downhill. They're the ones that introduced the supply drops, like I said. They're the one that introduced the futuristic theme. And I feel like this is really Sledgehammer's time to shine because Sledgehammer has only released one game solo. I know they helped with Infinity Ward on like Modern Warfare 2, I'm pretty sure. I know they helped with Modern Warfare 3 and stuff like that. But this is definitely Sledgehammer's redemption game. This is their moment to say, hey, we actually are good at making this game, because a lot of people didn't like Advanced Warfare at least as much as they liked other previous Call of Duty titles. And this is going to be huge for Sledgehammer, and I hope that they're successful because everyone just wants a classic Call of Duty that everyone likes. And the thing that I enjoyed most about Call of Duty was not necessarily the game or the gameplay, it was the people. The thing about Black Ops 2 is, yes, obviously it had a lot of players because it was such a good game, but that's what made it fun, is a lot of players. I was able to go on whenever I wanted, whether it be 10 a.m. or 10 p.m., and always find a big group of people to play with against other people's, or do my own custom group and play like Michael Myers or Window Wars and stuff like that. I've never done anything like that except with Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Black Ops 3 I've never had enough friends to play with, and I didn't have Advanced Warfare or Infinity Warfare. Is that what it's called? Infinite Warfare. My bad. I keep mixing Infinity Ward and Infinite Warfare. But we haven't had a game, I personally haven't had a game, I don't know why I said we, where I was able to play with a big group of people. So I really hope this brings people back, and because that's my favorite thing, and I think this might be the game to do it. The thing that is going to be interesting to look at is the future of Call of Duty, because if we hit a point where people are saying, oh, Call of Duty is repetitive all over again, it's the same thing, boots on the ground, blah, 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 then what's going to happen is, I don't know what's going to happen, because they can't go way back in time to other World Wars, because I don't think they'll do World War I, because haven't they done a game like that before? Honestly, I'm not sure, but they've had the Battlefield 1, so they can't really do it anytime soon. And unless they were to do like a medieval game, which everyone would be like, what the heck are they doing? This is the worst decision ever. Or go to the futuristic game, which they've already done. They're basically stuck. They have no way to provide their audience with, hey, we can make this game different, but have a similar concept. So I'm kind of worried about the future of Call of Duty. And the thing that games are doing nowadays is, it used to be back many years ago, you'd pay for a game, you'd play it once, and then you'd wait for the sequel of the game. Well, now all games are doing is they're just adding stuff to that one game. Adding it. You may need to pay for it, but they still just add it to one game. Well, Battlefield 1 has had multiple DLCs. Minecraft has never had a Minecraft 2 or a Minecraft 3. It's literally just been Minecraft for like 8 years. And just, it's stayed consistent. But Call of Duty is still riding that train on, hey, we can make a new game every year. So I'm kind of curious about the future of Call of Duty, especially once people start saying it's repetitive, boots on the ground is boring, blah, blah, blah. it's going to be very interesting to see. What I would ideally like Call of Duty to do once people are sick of it is stop releasing games for maybe like 3 years. That way every single game company could have a lot of time to work on their next game. But within those 3 years, so basically in a year and a half, what they would release is like a Call of Duty classic. And what that is they release a game with everyone's favorite maps, everyone's favorite weapons, regardless of the game. Like you could have Hijacked from Black Ops 2, and then you could also play on, I think it was called Dome and Modern Warfare 3, and some Modern Warfare 2 maps. Basically every favorite map, like the top 3 favorite maps in Call of Duty for every game, and put it in one game and just improve the graphics, make the weapons more balanced, add everyone's favorite weapons and all that stuff. Just basically a whole pile of everyone's favorite stuff, just to say, hey, this is what you guys liked about Call of Duty. You're gonna really enjoy it once we come back with it, and 1.5 years later. So basically they're gonna do right in the middle between the 3 years of taking a break from Call of Duty. That's what I hope they do. And again, I'm not saying they should do this now. I'm saying they should do this once people are tired of boots on the ground again, because I think going back to like a medieval type of game would be a terrible idea, because it's not gonna feel like anything like Call of Duty, and they're not gonna go futuristic, I don't believe. So that's what I hope and want from Call of Duty, is that once people get tired of boots on the ground, they basically take a break, do a favorite game where they put the favorite maps, the favorite weapons, and then they just, start releasing games again. It's going to be really interesting seeing this, because Call of Duty has been running for so long and been doing the same thing, while games are changing to what the audience wants. A lot of games are becoming free now to play, like all the popular ones. Like League of Legends is probably one of the most popular games in the world. That's completely free to play. You can pay for stuff like special skins for the character that you play, but you also have Fortnite that's free to play, the Battle Royale, and I think PUBG is free to play, but I'm not sure about that one. But there's a lot of free games now, and they're just adding special extra content to it, while Call of Duty is releasing a whole game, but hey, you can still get extra content. So yeah, I know it's just a bunch of random thoughts, but I really hope that World War II is successful, because it will mean a lot to, I think, everyone. And I feel like every console person has had at least one Call of Duty game, whether it was Modern Warfare 2, whether it was the newest Call of Duty of Infinite Warfare. Just, I feel like everyone has at least one point been attracted to Call of Duty at one point, and I hope this brings in a bunch of people back. I hope this is actually better than Black Ops 2. Obviously, I wish every Call of Duty was better than the best Call of Duty, but I feel like this is the time for a good Call of Duty. So, I don't know. If I'm getting it, I'm not sure. What's going to happen is I'm either going to get it really early on and judge it for myself. And like I said, I know nothing about the game except that's based on World War II. I've watched one trailer. Or what's going to happen is I'm going to wait to buy it and then read reviews and then decide to get it. But it's going to be an interesting ride. Anyways, thank you all so much for listening. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully you are looking forward to World War II. I will see you later.